Well, today it's a bit of an unusual video because I'm sitting on a helmet of my scooter and I don't have the usual microphone. I'm actually in Laos, exploring the countryside with a scooter, and there is something that I really noticed of this traveling in Asia, that we might picture Asia, some exotic countries, like good places for spirituality, mysticism, all that kind of illusion that we have in the mind. And also we might think that the simplicity of life has been kept original, but unfortunately due to these devices and to the very strong impact of tourism, things are screwed up as they are screwed up in the West, maybe even worse in one sense. There's no that simplicity, or at least in many places is lost. And the reason why I wanted to shoot this video is a bit unusual, because I never talk about the limit of Nei Qi Gong. I always say how good it is, and on my website you have many testimonials. On the YouTube channels you have some of my students who decided to help me to share Nei Qi Gong by making a video. But I actually never talk about the limit, and the limit of Nei Qi Gong are also connected to the limit of ourselves that I'm seeing more and more during this Asia trip. We have become really violent, aggressive each other, cheating each other, everywhere is like this, just because we have different skins or different ideas or language. We are separating the world, and if this was maybe less of a problem back in the days, now it's become more and more a big thing, due to the fears that we have, to the economical struggle, to the fact that we want to take advantage of others, to this technology also that is fragmenting ourselves more and more, with exposing ourselves to all this content. I don't even understand how people can watch short videos or TikTok videos going from one thing to the other, which constantly engage the intellectual brain in this very stupid and dividing way, and really doesn't give us the possibility of opening up to this, to what we have around us. I do apologize if the video is a bit shaky today, I don't have the usual stand. So going back to the reason why the limit of Nei Qi Gong can be even higher in these days, it's because we have become a terrible society everywhere, terrible human beings everywhere. And the first thing is actually to see this big problem so that we can detach ourselves from it. In this sense, the Nei Qi Gong is not able to improve ourselves. Technically it should, because the kind of practices that we do and the kind of attention that we give to the practices, to exercises, should lead us eventually to give a total observation to what we are doing. Total observation without the observer. So just totally observe while we execute certain exercises, without actually an idea of somebody executing exercises in one sense. Just, I don't know if you can understand what I mean, but just give pure, absolute attention to what we are doing. And this is a kind of very simple thing, but very uncommon thing to do, because we usually are processing and dividing and labeling things through the mind, whether we are talking with somebody, whether we're doing a practice, we put a goal on it, so we have the idea of me doing something to achieve a specific goal. But the Nei Qi Gong, like many other practices, if there is an understanding about this concept, can really give us the possibility of 100% observe without the observer. But this is not something that happens all the time. This is something that the practice might take us to experience, and actually to develop more and more that kind of a way of functioning as human being, which is another operating system, if we can call it like this, but it doesn't assure that that process takes place. And this is what really is meditation. Meditation is not about doing some strange exercises, some strange mantras, some strange visualization. Meditation is when the ego, the observer, is completely gone, because we are giving total observation, total attention to what is happening, undivided between what it is happening and me and the external. All this vanish in a very simple way, in a very practical way. We're not talking about some mystical, silly experiences. And in this sense, Nei Qi Gong is not able to ensure 100% that we go in that direction, because we, on the contrary, we might develop a big ego, because the abilities and because the achievement, because the practices they really work. In one sense, it's Nei Qi Gong is a little bit like a technology for ourselves. If you apply it, you get a result, as simple as that. But unfortunately, those results, not supported by this total observation, this meditation state that I'm talking about, they become even a big problem. Let's wait for these buggers to pass by. The world has become a park for Westerners to enjoy, well, even for Asiatic people, this tourist playground. One more, I apologize about this. So, Nei Qi Gong is not able to give us 100% the possibility of overcoming ourselves in one sense. The practices can help us, but there's no 100% certainty. We can become really big egocentric people in the world. And this is something that I wanted to share also, because I share with you that, sometimes I get praised as a very good teacher and I get lovely messages from my students. Sometimes I get threatened by people who are very aggressive, who want to slap me in the face and all this stupidity thing. I don't care about both, but this is where we are as human beings, which is a quite scary, not scary, but really terrible condition. As I said, I never talked about the limit of Nei Qi Gong. I always talk about the good things, that for sure they are having a healthy, strong body, good emotion, good mind, and growing vital energy to a very high degree. But that doesn't assure us that we can actually explore ourselves on a deeper level, on a very conscious level, go deeper into the nature of ourself. So I hope that I was able to maybe summarize this in one sentence, is that the big limit of Nei Qi Gong is actually it doesn't assure that we become better human beings. We have all the possibilities to do it, but it needs to be supported by some kind of vision of understanding of what meditation is really about. Not as a mantra, as an exercise, as a mystical experience, as a practical process that we can do in any moment when we give full attention, undivided attention to what it is at that specific moment. As simple as that. So, although Nei Qi Gong can help us to develop that kind of it's not really either a state, it's just a functioning operating system. It doesn't give 100% certainty about it. That's why we need to grow as human beings as well and go deeper to have an even greater result than with the Nei Qi Gong practice.